Hi, in this video I'm going to share with you a lovely way to use your coordinating paper collections. I'll be using papers that I received in the August kit from Creative Express Paper Crafting. Now the very first thing we're going to do is make a template for using these pretty papers. We'll start with a 4¼ by 5½ piece of cardstock. Now this can be one of your unfavorite pieces of cardstock, that color you're never going to use again. Use that for these things. We're going to need a ruler, and we'll make a mark that is 3 inches to the left of that lower right hand corner. And then we're going to make another mark 3 inches upward from that same corner. Now we'll just use the ruler to connect the dots. Actually, we'll just be drawing a line to use for cutting, and that will be the sum total of our template. Draw the line, and you can use your scissors or your paper trimmer, either way, to cut across that line. It's easy, whichever you have handy. We'll cut away that triangle because we're not going to need it for this project. The larger piece is our template, and you can use this time and time again for other projects. I've already scored the navy cardstock that I received in my kit, and I'm placing the template directly over the front of the card. That lower corner is going to be the area that we use for our design. And here's where the papers come in. From your primary piece of paper, you will cut 2 strips that are each 1 inch wide. Now this was a 6x6 piece of paper, and notice that I trimmed them right off the bottom, so I have a 4x6 piece left for other things. The second pattern will cut a strip that's just 3/8 inch wide. And on your final pattern, I just had a scrap of this left, but that's okay because I just need a strip that's 1/4 inch wide. And I can still do something else with that little bit of pink left. It's pink, you gotta save it. Now we're ready to actually use the template. It's going to be our guide for placement of our paper strips. The first one we'll use is the 1 inch wide strip. Use one of them and just slip it right up next to that angled edge. It's so easy because it shows you right where your placement needs to be. Put some adhesive on the back of your strip. I'm using a liquid adhesive today. I use a very fine nozzle to dispense liquid glue, but I love the fact that I get a little wiggle time with the liquid so I can put it exactly where I want it. Trim the ends off and use that strip of paper to guide your placement of the remaining 2 strips. So it really is a much easier design than you might have thought when you first saw it. This is the 3/8 inch wide strip. Little glue. Put some glue behind the smaller strip. Snip off those ends. And look at that. We're ready to go for the second part. Rotate your card 180 degrees and place the template back just as you did the first time around. In fact, this part of the card is essentially going to be a repeat of the first part. So I've speeded up the process because you've already seen this done once. And this time I'll end up trimming the edges off with just one trim. Now the edges are dry. The liquid glue has had a few seconds to dry, and feel those edges just to be sure there's no tackiness remaining from the glue. If there is, use your adhesive remover to just rub that tackiness away. I suggest always moving it in just one direction rather than using a scrubbing motion. That's better for your papers or cardstock edges. You can tell by the look of mine, I have loved it for a very long time. I didn't feel any tackiness on the other corner, but those edges that were cut may need to be smoothed down so it feels more like a very seamless transition all the way across. So you can use a sanding block, you can use a nail buffing block. Now we're ready to finish the card. I'll be using one of the elements included in the August kit, but this space is perfect for a beautifully colored and fussy cut floral image or a die cut sentiment. I think that this design is very conducive to a lot of different themes, depending a lot on the papers that you use and what you decide to put in the middle. I love this little globe. I love the sentiment that's on it for someone special. On the inside of this card, I'm probably just going to use the die cut circle of white to write my message. But as I was working, I noticed this lovely piece of ephemera, and I want to show you the idea that just ran across my mind. What if I die cut a navy circle or yellow or that beautiful dark pink? That's a perfect start for a brand new card using any of the papers that are included in this kit. It's a great contrast against white with just a little bit of paper or a little bit of ribbon for a very clean and simple look. All the things that run through your mind when you're creating, huh? I hope you've enjoyed my video today, and I thank you for watching. I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel using the button below the video, if you will. And I invite you to visit my blog at beverlygerard.blogspot.com. Thanks so much for having visited today. Inky hugs. Bye now.